Hey, I'm Benes, and I would like to share some knowledge with you. I am currently 26, gonna be 27 next year, and I want to discuss 5 things that I think you should not buy based on my own experience in your early 20s. All of those things will actually lose you money in the long term and won't provide any particular benefit. So let's start with the first one, a bit controversial, but it's college education. But hear me out first. So of course there are exceptions. For example, if you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer, those actually require a degree, and well, it's probably there is no way around it. However, for everything else, college is too expensive. So I'm not saying you should not go to college. I'm just saying that for the price what you get, it is a lot, especially if you take out loans, and especially in the USA where it's just the prices are crazy. Personally, I did go to college. I did went in Denmark, but the education was free. And I know this option is not available to everyone or everywhere. However, definitely consider the amount of money you pay for college, because I don't think it's worth it. I don't think those insane amount of money is actually worth the price, and I think it can be invested in a better place. Although I really enjoyed college and it's a very good environment, to just learn about life, you somehow have to bring that cost down, either by going to study abroad or having some grants or scholarships or just attending an university that has lower fees. It's ridiculous how much education can cost, and it's debatable if that degree actually makes the same amount of money back to you in a way that makes sense. Second point is a car, and especially a new one, an expensive one. If you are in your early 20s, do you actually need a car? Except for those people who actually live in an area where, well, there is no other way except having a car, then I suppose you actually need to get a car. But then again, you should buy it second model, a few years older, and maybe even older, but just not new car, and consider its fuel consumption. You're buying it as a tool, driving from point A to point B, and mileage or sort of fuel consumption is the thing that you should care about. Everyone else, you should just skip it. You should use public transportation, scooters, bikes, basically any other means of method, because car is a huge expense, especially if you're not buying it on cash or on credit or whatever. Then there is gas, there is insurance, there is repairs. It just drains money out of you, and you actually have to think, does it provide that much value as it drains? Third is buying anything on credit. And of course, if you want to build your credit score, that's okay to do, but you have to do it smart. But generally speaking, most people just get easy access to credit and spend it on anything. The way I like to think about credit in most cases is that if you don't have the cash to buy that item today, well, don't take credit on it. Why? It doesn't make sense. Probably the only exception are mortgages and maybe cars, but that's stretching a little. Anything else, you should be able to buy it in cash. Of course, as with every rule, there are exceptions if you're sort of investing in yourself or investing in something that actually will make you money in the future or has a potential to. Yes, that is sort of the more correct way of going about this. But I'm mostly talking about stuff that, you need a new iPhone when you have the latest model and you're buying that new iPhone on credit, which that's just crazy. If you don't have money to buy a new iPhone and you already have a previous model that works well, then that is just a waste of money. Fourth, and probably the worst thing you can spend your money on in your early 20s is buying something that makes you look rich. Things like clothes, especially designer clothes, which cost like twice or even 3-4 times more, for the same utility. Shoes, watches, jewelry, expensive hairdressers, all of those things actually make you look rich, but don't provide any other value beside that. I know there is a social pressure to present yourself well, but you can definitely do that without going overboard. Some people have a weird fetish with clothes, expensive clothes, and just go out and buy that just because of brands. And there are a lot of people that do that. It's just crazy, but you don't need that. It's a utility. It should look nice, but it doesn't have to be expensive, and there are ways of doing it. Especially when you're early 20s, believe me, nobody cares too much how you look like or how you present. You just have to look, I guess, normal, so you would say, but save all of that money you can spend on clothes. There is a better way of using that. And the last one, fifth one, is renting an expensive apartment just for the sake of, well, again, kind of looking rich, having a social status or whatever. This is a stupid idea. You are the only one living there. And yes, you can brag about your expensive apartment, but you know how much rent costs? Usually it doesn't actually matter where you live. From what I found, it's usually from 30 to 50% of your monthly income, which is crazy. And renting the expensive apartment just for the sake of having it, and you are literally draining down money in the toilet. And especially when you're early 20s, do you really need that? I mean, come on, you can save so much just by renting an apartment with someone else, co-living, living in basically maybe areas further from the downtown or something like that. And you have to remember, rent is fixed. So if you save $100 per month, that's not $100, that's $1,200 per year, because you're gonna pay that rent, for X amount of years you're gonna stay. So that is a lot of money. It literally multiplies by 12 each time you save any amount. So that's 5 things I've personally come in contact or even done myself, and I would definitely avoid them. These are all things that you're basically gonna lose money, or you're never gonna see it. It's not gonna get you any return. Instead, what you should do, if you're in your early 20s, you should take risks and invest in yourself. Instead of buying everything that I just mentioned in this video, what if you could combine all of that money spent and invest in a business idea, invest in a course, maybe even an expensive course, learn a new skill, buy an equipment for creativity, such as, a video camera or a music instrument. All of those things will actually help you in the future, which in some ways can be considered an investment. I would literally put all of my savings into these things, into myself, learning, developing businesses, or buying things that actually can, put you on another trajectory in life, buying a guitar, buying a drum set, and, just becoming a musician. Those things are okay to actually splurge on. And that's it for me. But if you want more videos about investing, stocks, or anything like that, I'm definitely planning to release a lot of content on these topics, but I do have already some videos on it, so I'm just gonna link it here or link it in the description below. Definitely check them out, check out my channel. There's a lot of stuff regarding personal finance, investing, entrepreneurship. I talk about a lot of stuff. Anyway, check out the channel, and that's it for me. Take care. See ya.